If you have been in a connection where the attention is intense, consistent for a stretch, even romantic, but the commitment never arrives, you are not confused because you are needy. You are confused because attention can imitate commitment in moments. It can sound like devotion. It can feel like closeness. It can even feel like safety. But attention is not commitment. Commitment is structure. And avoidant attachment often offers attention in a way that keeps access high while keeping accountability low. That is why so many anxious people get stuck in the same painful question. If they care so much, why will they not choose me? The answer is not a mystery if you stop listening to the story and start looking at the structure. Today, we are going to do that. We are going to separate attention from commitment. We are going to show you the specific patterns that make attention feel like love, and we are going to give you proof tests that reveal capacity fast, without begging, without performing, and without turning your needs into a negotiation. Because the goal is not to get more attention. The goal is to get a bond that can hold you when the moment is over. And I am going to make you a promise. By the end of this episode, you will know the difference between being wanted and being held. You will know what commitment actually looks like in real life, and you will know the exact sentence that stops you from wasting months hoping attention will eventually turn into structure. If this kind of clarity helps your nervous system settle, subscribe. PsychBond is a daily decoder for avoidant and anxious patterns, so you stop guessing. Let us start with the most important frame you can learn in relationship psychology: story versus structure. The story is what they say. The structure is what keeps happening. The story of attention sounds like this: I miss you. I think about you. You are special. I have not felt this with anyone. You make me feel calm. I do not want to lose you. But structure is what your nervous system actually lives in. Structure is whether you can predict them. Structure is whether you can rely on them. Structure is what happens when the vibe is not romantic. Structure is what happens when you have a need. Structure is what happens when you ask for clarity. Commitment is not a sentence. Commitment is a pattern. Commitment means you know where you stand. Commitment means there is a shared agreement. Commitment means plans exist and happen. Commitment means repair happens after rupture. Commitment means you are included in real life, not only in private moments. Commitment means your needs are not punished. Now, here is the key contrast. Attention is a stimulus. It is a moment of focus on you. Commitment is a choice that creates responsibility. Attention can be high with zero responsibility. Commitment requires responsibility even when it is inconvenient. That is why avoidant attachment often prefers attention to commitment. Attention gives closeness without the weight. Attention lets them feel connected without being accountable. Attention lets them keep access while keeping exit rights. Commitment removes that comfort. Commitment means you cannot disappear without consequence. Commitment means you have to consider impact. Commitment means your behavior counts, not only your feelings. If someone has avoidant patterns, that can feel like pressure even when you are calm. So let us make it extremely concrete. Here is attention without commitment. They text you constantly for 3 days, then go quiet for 2. They are warm when you pull away, cold when you ask what is going on. They are affectionate after you stop bringing things up, irritated when you do. They say big words in private, but they do not anchor anything in daylight. They like the feeling of closeness, but they resist the container that makes closeness safe. And here is commitment without theatrics. They show up when they said they would. They make a plan and keep it. They respond to a need with care. They can talk about the relationship without punishing you. They can repair when there is friction. They are not perfect, but they are consistent. Your body can breathe. If you are anxious, the trap is that attention gives relief. Relief feels like safety. When they text, your anxiety drops. When they call, your mind stops racing. When they show up, your body calms. That calm can trick you into believing you are secure, but it is often just relief in the moment. Commitment is what creates safety over time. Attention creates spikes and crashes. Commitment creates steadiness. If you only feel calm in moments, you are not in commitment. You are in relief. Now I want to show you how avoidant attention often works, so you can stop being hypnotized by it. Avoidant attention is frequently intense in a low-obligation zone. When nothing is defined, they can be very present. When there is no expectation, they can be very affectionate. When you are not asking for anything, they can be very sweet. But when structure appears, their nervous system interprets it as threat. The moment you ask for a plan, the moment you ask for clarity, the moment you ask for consistency, the moment you ask for repair, you can feel the temperature drop. Not because your need is wrong, but because their body hears consequence. Consequence means, I will be trapped. Commitment is tested when the relationship is a feeling. Commitment is tested when the relationship becomes real. Let us run 3 quick scenes so you can recognize yourself. Scene 1. They give you a lot of attention. They send good morning messages. They flirt. They ask about your day. They say they miss you. You feel chosen. Then you ask a simple question. What are we doing this weekend? Or, are we seeing other people? Or, what are we building? And suddenly, they go vague. Let us see. I am busy. Can we not make it heavy? You are overthinking. That is the reveal. The story sounded like a relationship. The structure was still undefined. Attention was present. Commitment was absent. Scene 2. They are very affectionate when you are together. They hold you. They look at you like you matter. They say intimate things. You leave feeling warm. Then the next day, contact becomes inconsistent. Plans become last minute. You ask for steadiness, and they say you are creating drama. You start editing your needs. You stop bringing things up. They become sweet again. That is a training system. Your silence gets rewarded. Your needs get punished. That is not commitment. That is access management. Scene 3. You finally pull back because you are tired. The moment you go quiet, they return with attention. They send a long message. They act afraid to lose you. They suddenly want to see you. You feel relief and interpret it as proof. But then you ask for structure again, and the pattern repeats. That is attention as regulation, not commitment as a choice. Now, let us do the most important shift. Stop asking, do they like me? Start asking, what does their attention produce over time? Does it produce clarity, consistency, repair, and planning? Or does it produce more guessing? Because attention can keep you emotionally invested while keeping the relationship structurally empty. That is why situationships can feel more intense than real relationships. Real relationships have a container. Situationships have spikes. Here is the story you tell yourself in attention-based bonds. They are just scared. They have been hurt. They need time. They do care. Look how sweet they are. That story can be true and still irrelevant, because care without capacity still creates harm. Your nervous system does not attach to intentions. Your nervous system attaches to patterns. And the pattern that matters is this. Do they show up when it is inconvenient? Do they repair when it is uncomfortable? Do they stay clear when it is real? That is commitment. Now, I want to define commitment in the simplest possible way. Commitment is a shared agreement plus consistent behavior. That is it. Agreement means you both know what this is. Behavior means the agreement is lived, not just spoken. Without agreement, you are guessing. Without behavior, you are being sold a story. Attention can exist with neither. Commitment requires both. So, why does avoidant attachment often offer attention but resist commitment? Because attention feels good, and it does not demand long-term responsibility. Attention can be given when they feel like it. Commitment requires them to be consistent even when they do not feel like it. And many avoidant people did not learn consistency in closeness. They learned closeness as pressure. So they can be very good at the beginning, very good in moments, and then destabilized when the bond requires steadiness. The point is not to demonize them. The point is to stop letting your nervous system mistake attention for safety. Now let us talk about proof. The only way to stop being hypnotized by attention is to require proof. Proof does not mean interrogations. Proof means simple, observable behaviors that you can verify. Here are the structure tests that separate attention from commitment without games. First is the plan test. Commitment creates plans that happen. If someone gives you attention but cannot make and keep a basic plan, that is not commitment. If every plan is last minute, if every plan is dependent on mood, if you are always waiting for confirmation, you are not being held, you are being pinged. Second is the clarity test. Commitment can answer a simple question without punishing you. What are you looking for? Are we exclusive? What are we building? A person with capacity might be nervous, but they can answer. A person without capacity will dodge, deflect, or turn your need into a problem. The dodge is data. The defensiveness is data. The silence is data. Third is the repair test. Commitment repairs. Attention smooths over. If you bring up something that hurt you and they respond with sweetness instead of accountability, that is attention. If they can stay present, name impact, and change behavior, that is commitment. A return is not repair. Warmth is not repair. An apology without change is not repair. Fourth is the daylight test. Commitment includes you in real life. It does not keep you in a private pocket. This does not mean rushing. It means you are not hidden. You are not only an after-hours connection. You are not only a secret comfort. Fifth is the needs test. Commitment can tolerate needs without punishing you. Attention can be high when you are easy. Commitment shows up when you are real. If your needs trigger withdrawal, irritation, or distance, you are not dealing with commitment. You are dealing with a system that rewards your silence. Now, I want to give you the one sentence that keeps you from over-explaining. Over-explaining is an anxious reflex. It is your nervous system trying to earn safety with words. But commitment does not require perfect wording. It requires capacity. Here is the sentence. I enjoy you. I want something steady. What are we building? That is it. No speech, no apology, no debate. Their response is your answer. If they respond with clarity and behavior, you have something. If they respond with ambiguity, punishment, or disappearances, you have information. This is where anxious people lose time. They get the information and then they reinterpret it through hope. Hope thinking says, they will choose me later. Hope thinking says, it is not the right time. Hope thinking says, if I stay easy, commitment will arrive. Proof thinking says, what is happening now? Proof thinking says, what does this cost me? Proof thinking says, does this person have the capacity to hold me? Let us do a mini case that shows the difference in 1 week. You meet someone who gives you attention every day. They are sweet, they send voice notes, they say they miss you. You feel the pull to invest fast. On day 4, you ask for a plan for Saturday. They say, we will see. I will let you know. Saturday comes, you wait. They text at 9 p.m. Come over. That is attention. It is access on demand. Now you apply a commitment filter. You say, I like you. I want something steady. I want plans that exist earlier than the last minute. What can you offer? If they respond with care and adjust, that is movement toward commitment. If they respond with irritation, if they guilt you, if they vanish, you have your answer. Their attention was not leading anywhere. It was keeping you available. Now notice what happens inside your body when they vanish. Your nervous system gets activated. Your mind starts tracking. You want to fix it. If you chase, you teach the system that disappearing works. If you accept returns without repair, you teach the system that attention resets everything. So here is the rule that protects your self-respect. Do not reward attention that appears after withdrawal with instant access. Require repair and structure before normal. This is not punishment. This is basic relationship hygiene. If someone disappears, then returns sweet, you do not attack. You do not beg. You do not perform. You say one calm line. I'm glad to hear from you. Before we go back to normal, we need to talk about the gap and agree on how we handle it next time. If they can do that, you have commitment potential. If they cannot, you have your answer. Now I want to address the most confusing point. Avoidant people can feel sincere while still avoiding commitment. They can mean the text in the moment. They can mean the affection in the moment. They can miss you in the moment. But sincerity is not structure. The question is not, are they lying? The question is, can they be consistent? And if they cannot, your nervous system will keep paying. If you are anxious, your brain will keep trying to earn the commitment by being the right version of yourself. You will try to be chill. You will try to ask for less. You will try to not make it heavy. But commitment is not earned by shrinking. Commitment is revealed by capacity. So your job is not to become easier. Your job is to become clearer. Let us add another case, because different viewers get stuck in different versions of attention. Case 2 is the private partner. This person gives a lot of attention when you are alone. They are affectionate. They share secrets. They are intense at night. They talk about how close you feel. But in daylight, plans are vague and you are not integrated. You do not meet friends. You do not have a place in their real schedule. You might even notice that the attention increases when you pull away, then drops when you lean in. The story says, "I am private. I move slowly. I do not like labels." The structure says, "You exist in a pocket that keeps them comfortable." That is not commitment. Commitment does not require a grand announcement, but it does require consistency and inclusion. It requires that you are not hidden. Case 3 is the crisis closer. They give attention when you are upset, when you are about to leave, when they feel you slipping away. They show up with big words, big gestures, and a burst of presence. Then, once you calm down and the threat of loss disappears, they disappear too. This is a very common avoidant pattern because crisis gives them a script. Crisis makes closeness feel temporary, so it feels safer. Routine commitment feels permanent, so it feels threatening. If you have only ever received attention in crisis, you can start believing anxiety is what creates closeness. That is how people get addicted to cycles. The way out is the same. You stop using crisis attention as proof, and you start asking for routine structure. Now, you might be thinking, what if they truly are busy? What if they truly are dealing with stress? What if they truly are scared? These can all be true and still not change your standard. A busy person with commitment capacity does not punish clarity. A stressed person with commitment capacity can still communicate. A scared person with commitment capacity can still move forward with honesty. Fear is not the issue. The issue is what they do with fear. Do they name it and still build? Or do they use it to keep access without responsibility? Here is the difference between healthy slow pacing and avoidant delay, because this is where anxious people get gaslit by their own patience. Healthy slow sounds like, "I like you, I move slowly, and here is what you can count on while we build." It looks like steady contact, simple plans that happen, and a willingness to talk about the relationship without punishment. Avoidant delay sounds like, "I like you, but do not ask where this is going." And the moment you ask, you feel the temperature drop. Healthy slow makes your body more settled over time. Avoidant delay makes your body more alert over time. That is the nervous system test. Now, let us talk about how attention becomes a trap for self-respect. Self-respect does not disappear in one dramatic moment. It erodes in small compromises you make to keep attention. You stop asking questions because you saw what happened last time. You stop bringing up needs because you do not want to lose the warmth. You accept last-minute plans because you want to stay close. You accept crumbs as progress because the alternative is uncertainty. Over time, you become a manager of the connection instead of a person inside it. That is the cost. Commitment is supposed to reduce management, not increase it. So here is the commitment scoreboard. This is what you watch over 1 week. Do they make and keep one plan in advance? Do they respond to a message within a reasonable window consistently? Not perfectly, but reliably. Do they handle one need without defensiveness? Do they repair one rupture without disappearing? Do they move toward clarity instead of away from it? If yes, commitment may be forming. If no, you are living in attention without structure. Now let us talk about the moment that matters most. The moment they offer attention as a substitute for commitment. This is when they say sweet things right after they disappointed you. They disappear, then they return and say, "I missed you. You are special. You are overthinking. Do not ruin it." That is attention trying to erase the structure conversation. Your nervous system wants relief, so it wants to accept the sweetness and move on. But if you do that, you train the pattern. So you do one calm thing. You require repair before normal. You say, "I like feeling close to you. Before we go back to normal, we need to address what happened and agree on what we do next time." That sentence is a filter. A person with commitment capacity can handle it. A person who only offers attention will punish it. Now, how do you keep your tone calm so you do not trigger a fight? You do not accuse, you do not diagnose, you do not say you are avoidant. You simply name the structure. When we do not have plans, I feel unsettled. When there is a communication gap after closeness, I feel dysregulated. I want something steady. What can you offer? If you cannot offer that, I will step back. This is not you forcing them. This is you choosing yourself. Here is a simple 7-day structure plan that is designed to be calm. Over 7 days, you ask for clarity once. You request one concrete plan, you watch follow-through, and you notice whether needs and repair are met with care or punishment. Then you decide based on patterns, not the best moment. This is how you stop being hypnotized by attention and start being guided by reality. Now, let us talk about the most painful illusion. The illusion is, if they give me enough attention, that must mean they are close to committing. But attention can also be a way to keep you close while they decide. Attention can be a way to avoid being alone. Attention can be a way to restore access after you pull away. None of those are commitment. Commitment is a decision to build with integrity. It shows up as structure. Now, what do you do if the answer is no? You do not need to make them the villain. You simply stop giving relationship benefits without relationship structure. You stop being exclusive. You stop prioritizing them. You stop accepting last minute. You stop resetting after disappearances. You stop paying for closeness with your peace. And if they return with more attention, you do not punish. You test. You require repair. You require clarity. And if they still refuse, you let the structure speak for itself. Let us close with the cleanest definition of commitment you can trust. Commitment is not constant texting. Commitment is not jealousy. Commitment is not big words at midnight. Commitment is not intensity in private. Commitment is agreement, consistency, repair, and real-life inclusion. Commitment means you can be a full human and still be held. Attention without commitment will always make you smaller because you will keep adapting to keep the attention. The right bond does the opposite. It expands you. It settles you. It makes you more yourself. That is the difference. Welcome to PsychBond. You're safe here.